Hello and welcome to our video series on the resurrection of Jesus. For the past 7 episodes, we've been responding to some of the most popular skeptical theories concerning the resurrection of Jesus. If you haven't watched them, please watch them as it will help you understand where we are in the series. In today's segment, we're going to take a look at the resurrection hypothesis. Does the resurrection hypothesis do any better than its rivals in explaining the 5 facts we discussed earlier from our episodes 2 to 6? What facts are we talking about here? Jesus' death by crucifixion, his burial, the empty tomb, the post-mortem appearance of Jesus, and the origin of the disciples' belief in the resurrection. When we carefully analyze the various hypotheses, we find that the resurrection hypothesis offers a far more credible explanation for the facts concerning Jesus Christ. Let's take a look at a few of them. First of all, the resurrection hypothesis certainly has a wide explanatory scope. It explains the death, burial, empty tomb, the appearance of Jesus alive after his death, and the origin of the disciples' belief in the resurrection of Jesus. So it exceeds counter-explanations that have a narrower explanatory scope, such as the wrong tomb hypothesis or the hallucination hypothesis, which you will remember could only explain few of those 5 facts undergirding the inference to the resurrection of Jesus. Secondly, the resurrection hypothesis has explanatory power. This is probably the greatest strength of the resurrection hypothesis. It explains so well the death, burial, empty tomb, the post-mortem appearances, and the origin of the disciples' belief. By contrast, hypotheses like the conspiracy hypothesis or the spoon hypothesis just do not account convincingly for the facts of the empty tomb, the post-mortem appearances, and the origin of the Christian faith, as we have seen already. On these theories, in contrast to the resurrection hypothesis, the data becomes highly improbable. By contrast, on the resurrection hypothesis, it seems extremely probable that the observable data with respect to his death, burial, empty tomb, the appearances, and the disciples coming to believe in Jesus' resurrection should be just as it is. Finally, the resurrection hypothesis is more plausible than rival hypotheses. The plausibility of the resurrection hypothesis increases exponentially when we consider it in its religio-historical context of Jesus' own unparalleled life and ministry, and also in the philosophical context of the arguments of natural theology. Within the context of natural theology, we have good arguments to believe that there is a God who has created and designed the universe and is perfectly good. Given the context of Jesus' own unparalleled life and radical personal claims to divinity, the resurrection hypothesis seems very plausible. Once you get rid of the philosophical prejudice against miracles, we'll see more on that in the next episode, and consider the resurrection hypothesis in the religio-historical context of Jesus' own life and ministry, then it does not seem at all implausible that God should raise Jesus from the dead. At the very least, it is as or more plausible than the rival hypothesis which oppose it. In sum, we've seen that the resurrection hypothesis that God raised Jesus from the dead provides the best explanation for the facts of the death, burial, empty tomb, the post-mortem appearances of Jesus, and the origin of the disciples' faith in his resurrection. Thank you so much for watching. If you do have questions or comments, please let them know. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do. God bless you.